Finally got him. Super excited. Can't control my emotions. This shoe is just so damn cool. There's a thing about kind of the vintage feel about it, the kind of different colors that's been going on, the history behind why it was even produced in the first place. Without further ado, let's get into the review. So first things first, you obviously start with the box. This box is your typical Nike box with the corduroy base print on Nike here, as well as the thing over here and over here. On the inside, you're going to see More Air, and More Air has a story below it. I'm going to read it to you guys right now. For the 30th anniversary of the Air Max One, 12 revolutionaries were invited to design the future of Air, the first ever Air Max designed by the community for the community. The winner was Sean Wotherspoon, vintage store owner and lifelong Air Max fan, who brought together an Air Max 97 upper and the iconic Air Max One midsole and outsole. Like the corduroy Nike hats of the 80s that inspired them, they are made to wear and be designed to fray. The more you wear them, the better they get. So before beginning, if you have liked my content or have been on the channel thus far, definitely hit me up with a like. This helps me keep the content going, and hopefully people actually enjoy what they're watching. And here it is, the Air Max 1/97, designed by Sean Wotherspoon for Nike. And there's really not much to say about the shoe that you probably don't already know. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you saw countless others. Looking at the upper, you are going to see the corduroy. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors on the upper itself, all with a different type of corduroy. You can see the brown in the middle here with the golden yellow Nike swoosh. You can see a greenish pattern. Depending on the light and how it hits it, it either looks between like a hunter green or a very dark teal. On top of that is going to be a purplish/royal blue. On top of that is going to be a brighter teal. Then finally the pink, the gray, and then finally you have your lemon color. Because the panels are facing different directions, it actually gives it a different type of texture as you're looking at the shoe, because nothing is actually going the same way, which is kind of cool. So it's a very subtle detail, but something that's pretty amazing to look at when you actually get a chance to. The only major difference here on the upper compared to most others is some of the Air Max 1s that have released in the past actually have a little mini swoosh on the right, on the lateral side. That little mini swoosh has made it over here, and it doesn't exist on the medial side. But I really like that detail. It's a nice bright blue that brings out the color of the swoosh, but also kind of really contrasts nicely with the teal and hunter green color that's on the bottom of the shoe. The only other type of material that's on the upper that's notable is going to be this here, which looks like wash denim. And then back here, which also looks like wash denim on the heel tab. There is stitching here for VA to LA, notifying how Sean Wotherspoon moved from VA or Virginia to LA. Honestly, not a big deal. I actually don't like that detail about the shoe. Like, I don't care about where Sean Wotherspoon went to move. Moving over to the top of the shoe, you are going to see the lacing. The lacing system is very typical to the regular Air Max 97. It's almost exactly the same. You're going to have a corduroy panel that comes across the top, which is very similar to the 3M panel on the silver bullets, which are over here. You can see that hint of 3M right here. The yellow color comes directly on the shoe, and it's tied that way, but there are other colors that come in the box. The 3 other colors are this purple, which matches the color there, this teal, which also matches the color on the shoe, and finally this white, which actually is pretty contrasting. I haven't done this yet, but I think I'm going to switch one of the shoes out with the cream, just because I want to see what it looks like. The other thing to note about the laces is only the yellow pair comes with a tip, and this is done in a metallic silver. All the rest of them don't have that, and they're just regular lace tips. The only other notable thing that comes with it is obviously this Velcro piece, which comes off. There's a little wave pattern there. I'm not exactly sure what it stands for, but once you take that off, you also see the Nike logo below it. I'm probably going to end up keeping the wave logo on, just because I think it looks pretty cool and it kind of has this surfer vibe to it. Moving to the inside of the shoe, you are going to see a very luxurious velour. I've never seen Nike do this on any other shoe, which I think is very interesting. The velour is yellow and it runs along the collar and into the sides of the shoe, and then on the bottom is actually a velour insole, which has have a Nike Day smiley face that's in there with the Nike swoosh. I will get, there is something about it that I do want to note in the future about the comfort, but I'll talk about that in a second. Finally, getting to the midsole as well as sole of the shoe. So this is the Air Max One midsole that was made popular in 1987 when it first released, and it's exactly the same as the Air Max 1 version over here. So you kind of look at it, it's exactly the same. The main difference here is really the color. Looking at this, it's actually a nice little off-white over here on the Sean Wotherspoon version, and usually the sole on most of the Air Max 1s are pure white from the OG colorways. AirPods in the middle, it actually has a contrasting red color in there, so you can see that over there. And finally on the bottom of the shoe, I actually really like the bottom of the shoe just because it really reminds me of Legos, which I think is pretty sweet. So it's yellow closer to the toe. Towards the midfoot, you're going to see the teal. In the middle here, you're going to see the gray with the Air Nike symbol as well. And finally, towards the end, you're going to have the blush color. Like I said, really, really cool detail. All right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the shoes themselves and what are my thoughts on it. So first off, I love the design. Talked about that at the very beginning of the video. It's one of the coolest things I've seen in a really long time, and what I really do love about them is the materials that are being used. I just think it's so interesting to have a corduroy shoe that I couldn't pass this up. And so from that perspective, I think a lot of people really, really love the shoe. It's, at the same time, it could be polarizing just because it's really hard to wear with an outfit. The colors are pretty loud, but for me, I think it's good. If you have a muted outfit, whether it's black jeans, black pants, or something like that, whether you're relatively monotone and you're not trying to stick out with your outfit, this works really, really well. And the colors themselves actually are not that loud. While they're contrasting colors, I wouldn't say that any of these would be extremely weird, except for maybe the blue over here, but it does give it a nice pop. On comfort, I'll be honest, they're a little stiff. You're probably not buying this shoe for the comfort, the Air Max 1s in general, but for this specifically, it's a little stiff when you're looking at it. Hopefully the corduroy will eventually break in, but I haven't worn it enough to really give you that view. The sole and midsole feel very similar to an Air Max 1, so if you're used to wearing them, you know that the sole's relatively hard. Not the most cushioned or bouncy compared to today's technology, but it does what it does. What is kind of different is going to be the velour insides. It really feels great once you slip it in. That's what she said. It feels really great once you slip your foot into the shoe. It gives it this really, really nice plush feeling. And what's really kind of cool is having that insole have that feeling as well. The one thing that I do not like from a comfort perspective at all is this little guy. That little guy sucks. The reason he sucks is because you can feel him every single time you step onto the heel. So from that perspective, I absolutely do not like wearing these. I'm obviously going to keep them for 1,000 other reasons, and hopefully this will eventually squish in and become more part of it. But you can actually feel it every single time you step on the shoe. It's really kind of odd that no other shoe tubers have had any haven't mentioned that at all, because it definitely is bothersome for me pretty significantly. The sizing on the shoe, I went a half size down for my Nike true to size. So to give you a little understanding of that, my Air Max 1 size is a 7.5. My Air Max 97 size is an 8. And then for these, I actually went a half size down to get a size 7 of the Sean Wotherspoons. And these actually fit perfectly. This actually fits almost exactly like my Air Max 97s. In a size 8 with the silver bullets that you saw right there. So from a sizing perspective, I definitely recommend going a half size down, and thank you for all the YouTubers out there that told us that you're basically swimming in your feet when you do true to size or even a half size up. And that's it, guys. This is going to be an amazing spring and summer shoe. I don't know how this is going to hold up with smelly feet as we kind of transition into summer, but in New York City, it's still kind of cold right now, and so this shoe isn't that bad. But I'm going to assume that the velour as well as kind of the corduroy are going to make your feet pretty hot. So probably thinner socks and things like that will probably be the best bet. But I absolutely love these. I'm about to lace them on and give you the on feet, and you should look forward to that. Alright, and that's it. So if you have any questions about these shoes, I know if you didn't cop them, you're only going to have a chance at resale. And so if you have any questions about the shoes themselves and whether or not they're worth it, definitely put that in the comments below. Or if you have just questions in general, because I know it's a relatively big purchase. I see these going for like $550, $600 now. I got super lucky and got them at around like $450 or $460. But either way, like I said, these shoes were worth it in my opinion. But if you are hesitant for whatever reason, just let me know and hit me up in the comments. And that's it, guys. This is the Air Max 1/97. Until next time, peace.